What's going on, everybody? What's going on? As we transition into a new month, it's unbelievable how August just came out of nowhere, just snuck up on us, and it's here now. Summer's just ending for some, or getting ready to end for some, and fall is lurking right around the corner. But Scorp, what's happening? For the past three shows we've been talking about, past. You back home? I'm glad to hear you back home, Scorp. Excuse me. We've been talking about, you know, paths, right? Empathy. We spoke about sympathy, which means uh you care, you care from an outside perspective, right? Like, I feel sorry for you. You know, I want you to get well soon, things like that. Then you got an empathetic mode. Yeah, I remember you was home. I mean, you went on your little vacay. Then we had them folks ain't changed. Nah, some people are stuck where they at in life, right? So you just gotta prepare yourself. You know, you prepare for you hope for the best, but you prepare for the worst. When you go back to a place that you once been, you're gonna have the memories of what was, right? But when you get there, you 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 hoping that it's there, but you got to see that the times are going to be different and ready. I mean, times are going to be different, and it's not going to be as you once saw it as it was. Young Riaz, good afternoon. Um, so we started with sympathy. Like I said, it goes from the 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 worryation, or the emotion of concern for a person from the outside. Like, I feel so. My condolences, things like that. Then you got empathy. Empathy is when you can understand the person much more because you was in that situation. You wore those shoes in those situations, so you have a deeper understanding of the path that someone is going through, right? So that's empathy. Today I'm gonna talk about apathy. Now, apathy is apathy is something crazy here. It's crazy. Empaths, take it, I'll cut you back. That's if you gotta care one, score, and then you gotta care. If you empathetic towards this place, you have to care first and then understand what they're going through. That's what empathy is. But apathy is something totally different. Apathy is lack of interest, enthusiasm, or concern. Or better yet, a lack of feelings or emotions or interest and or concerns about something. It is a state of indifference and or the suppression of emotions such as concern, excitement, motivation, or passion. See, if we hit Wikipedia, I'll do that. I'm reading it on the other side. It says apathetic may lack a sense of purpose, worth, or meaning in their life. People with severe apathy tend to have a lower quality of life and are at a higher risk of mortality and early institutionalization. See, that's something that I'll leave for my 33 brother, because he deals with the characteristics of the thing. Blessings, blessings, blessings. Blessings to the writers for life. Y'all check her out, man. She's very empathetic about the thing that she does, right? She has an apathetic moment, right? But we're going to the apathetic. The apathetic moment is, I don't really care about that nonsense over it. Like, if it ain't about building, she's apathetic. She may feel apathetic to it. Like, nah, I ain't with that. If this ain't helping the kids in the community, if this ain't, what I mean, making sure the kids are getting the proper education or the proper nutrients, or the community as a whole ain't gathering itself together, she may be apathetic to everything else that's going on around her. That's a moment. We're not supposed to thrive in apathy. There are people that are running around here without a care in the world. There are people that just don't give a damn about nothing. There's people that live with the I don't give a fuck mentality. That's an apathetic person. They just don't care about nothing. Now, shout out to my 33 brother. I asked him this question before. Like, do you feel apathetic? Like, it's not really apathetic. It's just that I just don't care for that situation. So for me, I understood what he was saying, and yet took it as, hey, he's apathetic towards that nonsense. He's not dealing with the nonsense. That's what we're supposed to be on right now. All of these topics that I'm talking about is about a path. What path are you taking in your life? Where are you going with it? Okay, where are you going with it? And the people that's around you, where they going with it? There are three type of people that I just met in this whole conversation that is going to be involved with you. You're going to have a sympathetic person, an empathetic person, or an apathetic person. And if you got that apathy, if you got that person that don't give a damn about what you're going through, they got to go to the side. I'm sorry. They're not there for you. They don't care about you, because how could you care about me and not care about my moment, my situation, right? If I'm sitting there going through a loss of a parent and you don't care, what the hell I need you around me for? If I just lost my home and you like, I don't care about that, what are you around me for? Apathy is it's a sad moment. But a lot of people that feel apathetic is those that are going through traumas, those that are going through depressions and anxiety, all of those type of things, right? An empathetic person will try to pull the apathetic person out. But that empathetic person has to be careful, because they may get sucked back in to an I don't care mode and to a trauma mode, because that apathetic person may have just enough power to suck you in. That's why people say, I can't go and meet people where they at. I can't see you. I can't see you in this mode, because if I go down there with you, I may not be strong enough to get pulled back out of it. And the apathetic person don't care, because sometimes misery loves company. And if misery loves company, what the hell? What? Come on down here. Let's talk about this a little bit. Let's shoot the breeze about it. You want to drink? You want? Hey, you might want to keep company. You know what I mean? And an apathetic person is the opposite or the opposite of what you're trying to do, as you are building a new road for yourself, as you are strengthening yourself towards your victory mark or your victory goal. You can't have that person that don't care. Like I said, there's a lot of people that come around you that, they may be there for your blessing, but as soon as your blessing is gone, they don't give a damn about you. That means they was apathetic about your whole rhythm, only wanted the blessings that you was possessing in your life. We don't need those. You don't need those type of people around you. You can't be around those type of people. They're leeches. They zap you of certain things. They zap you of your energy. They zap you of your joy. They zap you from your peace. You can't be around that and expect and have an expectation of elevation to come around you. That's just the total opposite of a person who has a path to elevate. An apathetic person don't care about your elevation. An apathetic person is just worrying about nothing that concerns you. And we have to, we do make great people. We do find some good people here. Don't get me wrong. There are a lot of great people on this app. There's a lot of great people in life. There's a lot of great people at your jobs. There's a lot of great people at your church, wherever you worship at. I'm not even mean to say church. Wherever you worship at, there may be great people there, right? But you got to figure out which path are they on. Are they on an apathetic path, or they on an empathetic path, or they on a sympathetic path? Those things are up for you to decide. You have to have discernment to decide which one they're about when it comes to you. You know what I mean? But let me keep going. So this is, I broke the word apathy down in my own version, right? So this is what it says. Let me see if you got it. I don't know if you got it. Let me see if that's up there. It's up there. So let me break this down. So the prefix a is most commonly used not or with, meaning not or without, as seen in words like atheist, atypical, and immoral. Right now, I know my 33 brother was talking about morals, and since the last show he did, shout out to him and Commander. They did, it's just something about when you have two people with understanding and great communication skills that make something come to life. So shout out to them. But right now, I'm just talking about, when you talk about amoral, there's no, you are without moral sense. That's what amoral is. Anarchy, without rule. Atypical, not typical. Atheist, without belief in God. I'm gonna say without knowing God. Because if you know God, you can never be an atheist. If you understand what God is doing in your life, you could never think of it as being an atheist. There's no nothing. There is a creator. A creator. Like A is a word, creator. It's no atheist, because when you know what God is doing in your life, that's what it is. Right? So you got those type of things, right? And then also it can mean on in an act. You in a state of not caring, right? Asleep, abed, afloat. You just in a moment. And that could be it too. But sometimes those moments could last longer than just that second. It can go further on in life. This is this is like a person that feels like they don't have to change or they don't have to improve themselves. They like where they are. That's why I say if you improve and you're going up. If you change, you can go either way, right? But an apathetic person is just going to just sit there, change. He change it. He may change for the worse. She may change for the worse because they don't care. They don't have no passion to do something other than what they're doing at that particular moment. This is why you have to understand when you are building yourself. Like I said, all of this is about a path. Which path are you taking? Are you taking this I don't care path? Or are you taking the I understand the path that you're going through? Or I see what you're doing and I can sympathize with that. Whatever one is for you, right? I'm just telling you, that, you know, the I don't care mode is not going to work for ever. It may have its moment. You know, I don't really care. I don't care if they landed on the moon. I don't care. It doesn't affect me. Right? That's a moment. That's understandable because you feel like it's not going to help you, affect you, bring change into improvement, whatever. We get that part. But an apathetic person, that's not a momentary thing. That's a person that really don't care about nothing. That's something to worry about. And if you're around an apathetic person and you are the total opposite, be careful. Because they aren't for you. They may not be, they are not for you. They're not for you. I don't even know I don't even know what the common ground. No, because even if they don't have a path, they don't have a path. They rather sit where they are. If you going in a different path, that's not your path. You're trying to elevate, grow. You're trying to do things like that. And even in this year, right? I've been working, like I said, I've been improving them. I've been being selfish. I've been doing all of those things. Of course, I've had momentary lapses. I can't have those. It's very hard. I can have an apathetic moment, like, yo, I really don't care that you sitting there playing with John and Jane and doing all of that nonsense. I really don't care. I'm really working on myself. But then, soon as that person would have said, you know what, I'm down on my luck, I might have stepped in, damn, because I'm sorry that you're going through that. What can I do to help you? And took the focus on myself. An apathetic person is not even caring about not involving you in the situation because they just want something from you. We have to stay away from them type of people because those people can become leeches, and then because once you say yeah, they may think you're gonna tell them yeah forever. So they're gonna lean on you. You know what I mean? Can I have your ear to talk to? Can I have your shoulder to cry on? Can I have? What about the person that you are affecting? So an apathetic person, I'm interested in seeing if my 33 brother could put this apathetic motion, this thought process. Is it possible to connect to a narcissistic person? Or one of those characteristics that he so eloquently speaks about, the narcissist, the Machiavellian. I can't remember the third one right now, right? But is this type of thought process, is this type of emotion, because this is really it's an emotion, but it's a state of mind as well. Is that going towards that? Because when you care, when you have passion, when you have you could never be apathetic. Your emotions and joys and love and happiness, even anger and frustration, it shouldn't keep you in an I don't care mode for too long, unless you feel like that's your peace. And if that's your peace, I'm piecing out away from you because that I can't be around that. I can't have that around me. I've never been one to say I don't really care. If I ain't rocking with you, I ain't rocking with you. I've done that before, but that's not apathy. That's a moment of, yo, we just don't combine. We don't mesh. We don't come together in a right manner. That's not apathy. That's just common sense. And I get that common sense ain't common to everybody, so they may not agree with what I'm saying. Right? But the apathetic person is like, all right, well, whatever. I ain't gonna lose no sleep over not talking to you. Why? Because they don't understand. They don't have that passion that they just blew something up, and it affects another person. You know what I mean? That's a state of mind that you know, it should not be in our minds for too long. Like I said, if it's going against your goal, if it's going against your grain, if Riaz is making a video about some R&B in his hometown, and somebody comes up to him and says, "Yo, what do you think about if we just do a car wash in your talk about car washes in your video?" That has nothing. You going against everything. I don't want to rock with that. That doesn't make him apathetic. It's just that's not for me. But an apathetic person is like, yo, I don't care about nothing you doing. I don't care about it. I don't like. You cannot be around a person in that manner. You can't be around a person that don't care. You can't be around a person with that I don't give a fuck attitude. Because they're more likely to crash out. They're more likely to project their own emotions and feelings into your daily life or your conversations, or just put it out there in front of you. Just paint that picture in your mind, and it may influence your thought process in a negative way. This may be one of those words that I don't see the duality in it. Now, like I said, I know my God might find some positiveness in apathy. I'm not looking for that, right? Because apathy goes against the empathetic and the sympathetic person. Because we could be consoling somebody, you know what, man, I'm so sorry you lost your home. And that, shit, that just means you got to go live in your car. Damn, that's how you feel about that? Damn, I can't walk. Well, you just got to go lay down somewhere. Damn, that's how you feel about that? You cannot have that type of energy around you when you're trying to find a good in a bad situation. We've all had bad situations. We all may have, started from the beginning. We all may have to start anew. But if that person is just like, all right, well, then you really don't have to do nothing. You just sit there and be broke all your life. No, I don't want to be around you. I'm trying to gather myself up and get this bread. But if I'm sitting here with you all day, we ain't doing nothing but looking at the sky. Most of those times, if the apathetic person, they just trying to drink themselves to death. Y'all see those people on the corners of your in your neighborhood. Y'all see them just sitting there all day, from 10 to about 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock if they're older. Like I seen some older men do this all the time. If they ain't talking about, some nonsense, they drinking and talking some stupid stuff. They're doing they're playing numbers or whatever it is that they do. My times it was numbers. That's how old I am. Forgive me. But they there from when you walked to school as a child and when you came home, you still saw that person in the same spot. That's a person with no purpose. That's a purpose with no path. He has no path to go through. She has no path to go through. I don't want that example. That's a bad example for anybody to look up to. Because if you do that all your life, that's crazy. Now I'm seeing the same people that I went to school with on that same path. I don't care. Let me smoke a blunt. Let me drink some yak, some Henny. And they'll sit there all day smoking and drinking, not putting nothing in their body, not building a soul, but just losing everything. That's an apathetic person. Those people cannot be involved with you because you have other purposes in life. There's some of us that would love to have grandchildren. Some of us may have grandchildren. I would love to live to see my children have children. But I'm not doing that until they start their life. Because in the meantime, something may happen and I'm not there. But you know what, damn, that's fucked up, man. That's fucked up. You want a shot? No, I don't want your apathetic thoughts in my proximity. I don't want that. I need people that's going to be empathetic. I need people that's going to have the path of understanding what my goal is. This is why we as a group, we are small in numbers, but we are large in concept. And that's why I can relate to a lot of people that comes to the channel, whether it's Scorp, whether it's Riaz, whether it's Riders, whether it's Word or Commander, Tay, right? I whoever, I can relate to you because you're on the same path. We are like-minded people. When you're like-minded, you're gonna understand each other. You're gonna have more empathy than apathy because, hey, I definitely understand what you're saying because I was just thinking about that the other day. Right? Yeah, okay. Well, we'll see how far you get with that. Damn, that's sharp. That's shallow. That's harsh. That's no push for for going for the gusto. And those people, they're drunk with misery. They're drunk with hatred. Not hatred, but they just don't have. They're drunk with lack of drive. They're drunk with lack of movement. Right? It's not a place for a person with goals and dreams and things like that to be. You can't be around that person. I'm trying to buy a house. So what am I going to do? I'm going to I'm going to stay with you guys and just sit here and talk about what we used to do back in the day. Man, remember when we was in high school, we did that ain't put no money in my pocket, and that ain't get me no closer to my goals. But an apathetic person, whether they even know it or not, that may be another thing. But you would understand it. You can see an apathetic person. You can see, damn, they don't care about nothing. They just doing this to do that. It doesn't mean you don't like them. It doesn't mean you don't love them. It just means that's not a place for you to be. That's not a state of mind that you're supposed to be in. But of course, there's people that's going to be there. Of course, there's people that's going to sit there and go with that flow. I'm just not one of them. It's a reason why I haven't been on here for a while. It's not because I don't care. It's because I am empathetic to a fault, some may say. Whether it's my family, whether it's my friends, whether it's somebody that I'm talking to in the background, no matter what it is, they pull me away from being here having these type of conversations. And it's not, like I said, it's because they're going through something. I will go and see if I could be of assistance to them. And that's not an apathetic because I care. Like I said, people will say I care to a fault, but an apathetic person, like, man, you tripping. You sitting there wasting your time with them people, man. They ain't gonna do nothing but what they want to do anyway. And it's a negative Nancy. You know what I mean? It's a person that just have the wrong thoughts, the negative thoughts. That's gonna make you feel like the things that you choose to do may be wrong for you. That's not an apathetic person. Yet, if that person is apathetic, if that's his or her consistent state of mind, or the emotion of not caring, however you want to put it, that's what apathy is. Those are the people that you need to stay away from. Those are the people that you need to say, you know what, I love you, but this is not helping me. This is harming me more than it's helping me. This is hindering me. This is making sure that I don't progress to my next stage in life. Some of us are in our 40s and 50s. Now, just like I said, just remember those people back in the days when you was going to school and they were just sitting on the corner drinking the little corner store liquors. I know in New York, what the hell was that shit? White Wild Rose, Red Irish Rose, one of those type of drinks, and they got that in their back pocket. That's in their back pocket, ready for them to pull it out and start drinking 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock in the morning. Job? What job? I ain't got no job. Let me come on. Let's just sit here and talk about what happened yesterday. Oh, hoping that their number come up, hoping that their number hits. That's a person with no drive, no path. He has no path. And that's a state of mind that they chose to live in. I can't be around that. I'm sorry. People feel like we're fighting lost causes every day. Well, damn, your numbers ain't growing on the app. Okay, that may be true. But my message is the point. It's not the numbers. If people get it, they get it. But I can go to sleep. I can go to sleep well because at one point I said nobody's doing what I'm doing. Now that I'm doing it, I can't say nobody's doing it. Now, if people receive it or not, that's another story. But they can't no longer say somebody didn't step up to the plate and do that. Why? Because I wasn't apathetic. I was empathetic. I was sympathetic because people may have not thought that they didn't have that person to speak about that subject, or empathetic because somebody may come up here and say, you know what, I need to talk about this, and this. And I understand what you feel, but I'm present. I'm not absent. An apathetic person is someone who is absent or without feelings. I have too much feelings for some people. I care too much for some people. I care too much in some people's eyes. An apathetic person, like, I don't listen, man. It's about me now. It's almost selfish. It's almost selfish, and you don't care who comes down with you because you, like you said, damn, or at least I got one person to sit here and drink with. Or I got one person sit here, yo, let's just roll up, yo, roll up. You roll up 8 o'clock in the morning. You just got up. That's your go-to. When you see that apathetic person, all you can do is want the best for them. They need to change. They need to improve themselves. All you can do is want the best for them. But for people like that, man, you just, like I said, you do your best to avoid them. You do your best to stay away from them people because at the end of the day, hey, they don't want it for themselves. You can't want it for them. That's just like saying you love somebody more than they love themselves. That'll never work. Because if they don't care and you do, you're draining yourself. We have to stop wasting our time around these apathetic people. It's not that they're meaningless. They just don't care. They're not for you. They don't want to be saved. Fellas, y'all know what I'm talking about. That whole don't want to be saved. No disrespect to no woman. I'm just saying that's a saying that used to be and she don't want to be saved. You can't turn into a housewife. You can't this ain't trading places. This ain't, you know what I mean? If you remember Trading Places, this ain't, you can't go turn that bum into a millionaire. They gotta want it for themselves. And as long as they have the state of mind of being an apathetic person, they don't want that. You be the example. If you being the example and it helps them to come out of their apathetic ways, they'll come to you. They'll find you. You don't gotta go look for them. Good deeds don't have to be searched for. Because they're always available. But an apathetic person don't care about none of that. They're just in a doldrum. They just depressed. They just sad, and they don't want to move from that moment, that state of trauma, that lack of emotion, to say the least. Those are not people for you. Those are not people that you should be seeking. Those are people that don't. That if you do it, you better have a vest on, and somebody better be your lifeline. Because if they pull you in, ain't nobody coming to save you because they can't, because y'all want to be too far gone. So be mindful. Be careful of those apathetic people. Doesn't mean you don't have to worry about them. You could worry about them. Just stand on the other side of the block. Stand on the other side of the river. All you can do is hope they don't jump in that river of apathy. They don't jump in front of that busy block of apathy. All you can do is hope for and wish for the best. They gotta need to improve themselves. There's nothing we can do about them. And if you think you can and you get sucked in, you guys be careful. Because that's a tough journey. It's a tough journey. Right? So, in concluding with the whole pathways, right? Like I said, we spoke about the different pathways. There's probably some more. I don't know. Like I said, maybe my 33 brother can find a different pathway and speak about it and touch about it. Right? Apathy's no morals. Apathy just don't care about life itself. This is what I'm saying. That's just who they are. But the pathways, those are the three major pathways. Those are the three major roads that you're going to run into in this life. A person that sympathizes, all right, I listen. I I'm sorry for that. The empathizers going, yo, I definitely understand what you're going through. How can I help you? Can I come through? Can I, you know what I mean? You know, here's a suggestion. Da, 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 da. They might do that with a sympathetic person. An apathetic person, they can make suggestions all they want. They're not going to take it. I ain't trying to hear that shit. That's how they talk. All because they're in a loner's state of mind. They're in a obsolete state of mind. They are in a depressed state of mind. You can't help them. They gotta ask for the help. And not the help when they're in sinking sand. Some of them are already in sinking sand. Some of them will rather sink than even ask for help. So understand the path that you got going on in your life. Avoid the ones that's not going to get you to your goal. An apathetic person, if anything, you use them to keep going forward. If you're going to use an apathetic person around you, use them to be, yo, this is where I ain't trying to go. This is where I ain't trying to look like. This is where I ain't trying to be in the next 5 years. The opposite of that. But going into, these different paths, like I said, you're going to run into those type of people. Which one are you going to be in? As you continue to work on yourself, as you continue to improve on yourself, which one of those paths are you going to take? You're going to take the, sympathetic, or you're going to take the empathetic, or you're going to take the apathetic. Those decisions are yours. For me, I'm just trying to stay on the path of growth. I'm on the path of growing, knowing how not to be abused, know how not to be manipulated or abused in my kindness. Because if I become an apathetic person with my kindness, that's destroying my very being of who I am. And I can't afford that. You know what I mean? So, that's just the gist of what I have to say. Like I said, there's a lot going on as far as these pathways that we are taking in life. But I'm still me. I'm still here. I'm still available. Yes, I am okay. It's challenging to focus on yourself when you've been so giving with yourself for the longest period of time. But sometimes you have to make yourself unavailable to strengthen yourself to become available. Right? That's just the path that I decided to take on this year of self. The year of me, the year of the one. For me to be selfish with myself, to understand when I can and when I can't do certain things. When I make myself available and when not. Because before this, the empathetic path, you run yourself raggedy. You pour into so many people that I understand what you're going through. You drain yourself and you wearing yourself out. Almost to the point where you become apathetic. Like, I can't do it. I don't care. I don't care if that motherfucker just drowns. I'm not jumping in the water to save them. Because you've done so much and you've been running on fumes because you didn't take care of yourself. That's the apathy. That's apathy that I'm super afraid of. That's keeping me away. This is why I have to work on myself. I need emotions. I need emotions in my life because sometimes it stops me. It doesn't rule me. It doesn't make me. I don't run on just pure emotions. It'll stop me. It'll tell me I'm doing the right thing. It's not confirmed. What's the other word I'm looking for? It'll give me outside confirmation. Because at the end of the day, apathy, these paths we go through, it's going to be about feelings and judgments and things like that. But when you can roll it all together, when all three of these paths come together, apathy, empathy, sympathy, when they come together, it makes you close to complete, close to a completed person. Because yes, you can have that I don't give a damn moment. Yet, as soon as somebody go through something, damn, I don't know what you're going through, but I, I'm sorry. But when I do know, hey, how can I help you? That's completion. For me, this is completion. I'm completing the paths, a series of paths. I'm completing it. This is what I've learned from it. I'm giving it to you. Maybe my understanding, maybe my delivery may not be enough for people, but there is something. It's not the greatest book, but it's an understanding. It's not even a book. It's three things that I've given you and what makes me a complete person. If it works for you, it works for you. If it doesn't, you know what I mean? If you read it and you apply it, if it doesn't work for you, you know what? Say I'm trying. I'm glad you're doing well, Riaz. You know what I'm saying? Um, those are those are the things that we have to go on with in our lives, right? Some, like I said, some of us are old enough to remember what people used to do, not caring about themselves, not caring about their health. I'm gonna overcome it because I'm 20. You can't do what you did at 20 as you can do. You can't do as you did 20 at 40. Father time is always undefeated. So this apathetic stage hopefully is not going to last for anyone that's going through it. But just know this voice. Listen to this voice. Whenever you feel like you need somebody to be sympathetic, I will be available. Just because you don't have a path, somebody still wants the best for you. Just because you don't have a path, when you come out of that no path method or that no path logic, there's someone that's going to understand what you went through because they went through it themselves. There are people that's available for you to come out of your apathetic mode or your apathetic thoughts or your apathetic emotion. Look out for them because they may be on the lookout for you. So with that being said, y'all, I truly appreciate y'all coming through. We'll be over with Sports Chat tonight. He got a lot to talk about because he's been missing. The world of sports. You talk about SummerSlam. You can talk about preseason football. The signings and things like that. We go over there on Fridays just to have a way out of reality. We go to the sports and entertainment world over there. He'll be on around 11:30 over there chilling with him. Sports Chat Mr. 33 is his page name. But, we'll be over there tonight. I don't know if my 33 brother is going to be on tonight. I don't know. You know what I mean? I don't know. I haven't. He's getting his family ready for a new season in school. That's a beautiful thing to have. Just imagine if he didn't care, though. Man, y'all do what y'all want. I'm straight. When you have love, apathy is not a part of it. Those are the things that I'm telling y'all. It's two it's polar opposites between caring and not caring. But like I said, I want to leave it again. For those of you that's feeling that's in the state of apathy, when you're willing to come out, there's a sympathetic ear waiting for you. There's an empathetic hug waiting for you when you're ready for it. Don't be afraid to feel the embrace. Accept it. See how high it gets you or how high it lifts you. Don't let apathy be lifelong in your life. But I appreciate everybody coming through today. Those of you that stop by, score up Riaz, riders. Those of you in the cuts. If you want to replay, appreciate you stopping by. Like I said, this is what I figured out for me. I put it out there because maybe it'll work for you. Maybe it won't. I don't know. But like I said, I care enough to put it out there just in case. it's going to be helpful or it's not. So with that being said, y'all, like I said, I appreciate everybody coming through. Uh, until next time, y'all. I'm out.